I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, I'm delighted to introduce you to a very talented author. His name is Byron George, and he's written a powerful book. It's called My Manager. It is a modern love story that ventures into the realms of polyamory, naturism, and tantric practices, underpinned by themes of empowerment and equality. The book narrates the adventurous lives of Sandra and Byron, exploring how their relationship evolves amidst their liberal lifestyle. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We ask viewers like you to support writers like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his wonderful book. The links are below this interview. Byron, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Nice to have you, Logan, or nice to see you anyway.
Oh, it's good to meet
Yeah,
you. Good to see you virtually anyway as well. Loved your
yeah.
book. I think it's quite a story you tell. Why did you decide to frame the book as Byron's journal? Tell us how you thought that helped with the storytelling process.
There was my manager at the time named Sandra, and we were playing around because I write other stuff as well and do some poems, and it was like a falling in love online,
Mm.
and so it was a way of us getting together, and she would give me ideas. I mean, she's like a New Yorker, very liberal, liberated woman, mid 30s. So a bit like Sex and the City, that sort of thing, and those attitudes. So she would give me ideas, and I'd go away and write a chapter and say, "Did that turn you on?" And she'd say, "Yeah, yeah." And that was how it grew. So from there, yeah, I just started to create other little adventures around it, as if we were um, getting together literally, and then traveling the world, enjoying and finding out more about ourselves, but also about her, how a young woman would feel, and modern uh, empowerment, I guess, for women to take the lead at times.
Yeah.
So
Well, you
I've
did a
always
great
liked a
job on the book.
strong woman.
Yep, yep, absolutely. You have crafted a strong character in Sandra. And I see there was a hat tip to both of you. One is Byron, one is Sandra, which is great. Let's tell the folks at home the big picture, what the book, The Manager or My Manager is about.
Yeah, well, we sort of meet as my manager. She cuts a deal for me, with a rights deal, and we put the money in the bank, and I persuade her boss to let her stay with me and carry on editing and working with me. And so that's it. So then we decide, well, we got this money in the bank. Let's get away and try everything out. So we make love the first time in our meeting, and it sort of describes that. I try to make it uh, sort of nice without being uh, you know, too much specifics,
Hmm.
but being a proper romance. But you got to include sex. So, uh, yeah, and it grew from there. So we go off and we start. It becomes like an adventure with other people of similar minds, and
Mm.
so we end up with the Mile High adventure, just going on the way down to Mexico, and then uh, take over. We're both into music, and she plays a ukulele and a guitar, and I write songs, and so we do a little bit of entertaining in a resort while we're suddenly free.
Mm.
We've got money and we're traveling.
Yeah.
It's all about the little people we meet along the way, um, and yeah, and other people's attitudes, and the way it all pans out. You
Yeah.
know, it's it's fun.
It is.
It
It's
was
a
as if
fun,
yeah,
it's a fun, high-flying story, and it's quite an adventure. And I think people truly will enjoy it. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's an adult adventure, but it's a great
yeah,
book. And it's very, very, very interesting. Now, you deal with issues like polyamory and naturism. Tell us a little bit about how you balance those themes with women's empowerment.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's always her idea or her choice, and so like an old friend will come over, and like when we're on a plane, one of the stewards takes over the woman,
Mhm.
and yeah, so we get involved that way, and I'm just there as an adult, and I go along with it. It's like,
She's
hey, who
leading the
wouldn't?
way, you're just going along. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm trying to get over. Is that hey, she'll say, let's try this. We've not done this, and I'll
Right.
take her somewhere where it happens. So yeah, it's like that, and because the more of a free attitude we are, then the more other people latch onto it. So it's
Absolutely. It's kind of a
yeah,
contagious attitude.
yeah,
Once you're open and
yeah,
free, other people be open and free.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you attract like-minded souls,
Exactly.
and yeah. So that's how it goes on. But and it doesn't always go well. There's
Right.
a couple of instances where um, somebody jealous uh, takes tries to take over her,
Hmm.
and those sort of things. But we always come back together.
Yep.
So it's yeah. So I try to be very positive in that respect. We're both learning, and that's how we did it. I don't know if you saw the video trailer on the website. It's sort of just about the introduction
Hmm.
when we first meet, and it's quite nicely done.
Yep.
So yeah, and I do. I like to put a little poem in at the beginning of a chapter here and there,
Hmm.
and so that's my way of romancing her, and and then she'll take it from there. So yeah, it was yeah. She would say to me one day like, "Hey, I've always wanted to go to Santorini. Let's go to Santorini." So
Right.
yeah, we make the booking. We go to Santorini. We meet a couple of landladies who are older sisters, and they introduce us to other people on the island, and all of a sudden we're in a naturist party. So
Exactly.
it's that sort of yeah, things
Yeah.
happen. Um,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, well, it's
so
it's a very, very interesting read, that's for sure. Very, very entertaining. Have you envisioned this as a movie, perhaps?
I think when I write, I always try and vision it. Whatever I'm writing, I imagine as if the characters are in a movie.
Yeah.
Whatever I write, it's a vision of movie scenes.
Mm.
It's just the way I do things. It's I guess like my writing style. I sort of I try and claim to be to pee off the pompous,
Mm.
amongst us. Sort of be a little bit risque, a little bit loose, and and friendly with people. Nothing bad. Nobody
Absolutely.
gets hurt. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah. I think it would work well in the cinema for sure. I think it'd be a very, very entertaining film. And I think, like you said, it's like Sex in the City, but it's unique and it's original in its own way.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
always try and be original. And even everyday life, I look around. I do a lot of people watching, and uh, and it's amazing. You sort of look at people who are a little bit different, but almost everybody's different, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just got to get beneath that, the outer shell.
Right.
Um, so I like talking to people. Doesn't always do me good, but you know,
You never know. You're quite a prolific writer, aren't you? You've written quite a few
yeah,
books, huh? Tell us about
yeah,
your writing career.
yeah. I've written some adventures. like more like thrillers, more on the Reacher type scale. And again, that theme, the characters in that, there's the guy who's a Londoner, like me, and he meets, he gets robbed early on from his business by some bankers in London, and they take over his business. So he tries to get some revenge. So he goes off to the Middle East and earns a bit of money, makes some business out in Saudi, bootlegging booze. And so he's an adventurous guy. And he meets a couple of girls in nightlife in Dubai. And there's a lot about Dubai there and the underbelly of life there. So the girls are working girls. So they become his partners. So there's one Chinese girl and one Nigerian girl. And they become a threesome of lovers. So that theme again of liberality. Yep. And they come together in a revenge scam on the bank. And then it's after that they become like Robin Hoods, going around the world putting other people's problems to right. You know.
Well, that sounds like a wonderful.
Justice.
That sounds like a great adventure. And also it sounds like it'd be a terrific film or TV series as well. Byron George has written a modern love story. It's called My Manager. It is a story that dives into the realms of polyamory, naturism, and tantric practices. It is quite a tale. He tells the lives of Sandra and Byron. It's a great book. It's a hot book. You won't want to put it down. You might start thinking a little more creatively about your own love life after reading about the lives of Sandra and Byron. Byron, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine, my friend. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time, this time until next time on Spotlight.